What's up, everybody? How are you guys doing? Welcome to Jake Richardson's Coaching Corner. This is Season 2, Episode 27, and the topic of the day is learning how to love yourself, but not falling in love with yourself. What do I mean by that? The journey of life is to truly feel good about yourself, to truly know that you're going on the right path, love yourself fully, and not have any hate towards you. Along that way, people get pulled and twisted and turned, and then they find themselves in love, falling in love with themselves. Falling in love is surface level. Loving takes a lot of time. When we go on dates or we meet somebody for the first time, and we think that we're falling in love with them, that's all surface level. That's all looks and the right things that they're saying and the really nice dates that you're going on. Love is something that takes years and decades to really grasp. So when you see that person, you know that you guys have been through the fire. You know you guys have been through the shit. And at the end of the day, you can love them. And that's where we knock into and drive into today when it comes to yourself. Is learning how to love yourself, but not falling in love with yourself. Because falling in love with yourself to me is a little bit more damaging. But we'll jump right into it. What's the definition of loving yourself? To truly feel happiness, self-worth, and confidence for oneself. So that's where the love really comes in. So you really loving yourself and feeling confident. You're feeling the self-worth. You're feeling one with yourself. Not easy to do. A lot of people out there do not love or like themselves fully. If you're listening to this, I hope that you're not somebody on the latter half where you're below 50%. If you're, in my opinion, you want to be kind of somewhere in that 75 plus range of loving yourself. And it should be like that because you have to be with yourself every fucking day. And if you can't stand being around yourself, you're probably not going to be here that long. And that's never a good thing to have that in your mind. Why is this important? It's just like I just said right there, it improves the quality of life. You loving yourself and you feeling good about what you're doing on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis is going to increase the quality of your life. It also increases the quality of the life of people around you, because if you hate yourself, the likelihood of you hating others is extremely high. If you love yourself, the likelihood of you being able to love others is extremely high. So I feel at the end of the day, that is the major goal, is to find that type of real quality love. Why else is this important? Besides specific relationships when it comes to the people you love and the people that are close to you, friends, family, your career, your job, your entrepreneurship, your work. If you do not love yourself, none of this stuff is going to flourish. None of this stuff is going to skyrocket in the direction in which you need, because you're fighting against yourself every fucking day. If I'm fighting against myself, trying to motivate myself to get up, how am I going to motivate workers? How am I going to motivate teammates? How am I going to motivate anybody around me to listen to half the shit I'm saying? Because I don't even believe it, because I don't even like myself. So if I'm portraying that, or if that's oozing out of me, because that's all it does, no matter how hard you try to hide it, if you're battling against yourself, people can see that a mile away. And when people see that, they want to run away from it, because everybody is dealing with their own shit on a daily basis. Your favorite teacher, your favorite boss, your favorite coach, people that you look up to, they're dealing with shit every single day. But the good ones know how to manage it to where you never see it, because they can rely on themselves. They can lean on themselves. They love themselves enough to where they can take what's going on in their life, push it aside, and get the objective done. People that do not like themselves, people that do not love themselves, people that are not centered, it's sitting on the shoulders. You see it on their face, and nobody wants to be around them. Nobody wants to be motivated by them. Nobody wants to hear what the fuck they have to say. And those people don't even want to hear what the fuck they say. So it's just this vicious, ugly cycle of back and forth. What areas benefit when you love yourself? Your mind, first and foremost. You can think better. And when you think better, you tend to do things that are big and powerful. People go down the list of major people in the history of life. I would almost guarantee 99% of them had self-love. They believed in themselves. They needed that. Because if they didn't have that, then nobody would follow them. Nobody would listen to them. So you need that right off the bat. And it all starts here. Everything starts in your mind. For your body to be healthy, you have to be clear-minded to get yourself to the gym. For your relationships to be healthy, you have to be clear-minded to put that time and grow that relationship. There's so many avenues that start with your brain. We all think that starts somewhere else, but it all just starts right here. So if you could truly waking up midday, going to sleep, believe in yourself, believe in what you're saying, and have that real love for oneself, everything else is extremely easy. You'll be very successful. You'll have great relationships. So forth and so forth. What else? Your body. What comes second more often than not when your mind is clear? Your body is able to work correctly. When your mind is clear and you have no stresses and you're thinking positively, you tend to do physical positive things. You go out and you go on a hike. You go for a run. You ride a bike. You go to the gym. You get a group of friends together. You guys play sports. More often than not, the most positive things that you could do are very active. And everything just starts working in this perfect circle of health. Your mind is clear. Your body's working. When your body's working, you're putting all that energy out there. When the energy goes out there, you attract more people, and it just starts going in a positive direction. So I do like that. It is the flow. If you are loving yourself truly, your mind and body will be one, and they'll represent that. I don't mean to jump down anybody's throat, but once again, if you take the higher percent of successful people, that has nothing to do with finance. That has to do with just success as a whole, being mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally sound. A lot of them are in pretty good shape. Not a lot of them are super fat. Because at the end of the day, if you are fat, there is a bit of self-hate. Because the pillar of health and looking good is broad chest, core, skinny waist, nice ass, strong shoulders. And that's not to shame anybody. That's just the honest truth. What's the fucking opposite? What looks bad? Big old fat gut, cellulite, big old hips. I've never seen somebody with those traits that is just super happy, that's ready to change the world, that's ready to show everybody how great they're feeling. It's a front. Is more often than not, motherfuckers like that will front to you that they're happy and they're having a good time and love me for me until they have a fucking heart attack, or until they have gout, or until they have to chop a fucking limb off because of God knows what. But at the end of the day, if your body is right, more often than not, you're in shape. Because your mind is telling you the positive thing to do is eat right, to work out. Because if you do that, you'll statistically live longer. If you're not doing that and you're out of shape, you're telling me that you hate yourself in a certain way. So I'm going to eat myself to get fatter and fatter and uglier and get off this planet faster. That's all that happens. In reality, I don't want anybody to sit here and sugarcoat shit, because when you sugarcoat something and you eat it, it just gets you in worse shape. So me, I'm not going to sugarcoat shit for anybody. If you are overeating, if you are overweight, you don't need to fool nobody else, because I can see it clear as day. You are hurting yourself, and you don't have that full love for yourself, and you need to make a change now and not later. The reason why you're not making that change is because you're lazy, which is another, in which I'm talking about when it comes to love. You cannot be lazy and love yourself, because if you're lazy, you're not reaching your full potential. When you're reaching your full potential, you tend to feel amazing about yourself. You feel just over the fucking moon. But when you're lazy, you're not doing that every day. You're dogging on yourself. And when you're dogging on yourself here, you tend to dog on yourself here because you eat more and you gain weight. So you got to really lock in when it comes to the body and taking care of it and really representing and showing to me how much you love yourself. Because I will say this, there are fit people out there that do not love themselves, that have body dysmorphia, that are just not living a healthy life. And you can see these people a mile away just as much. The guy that takes steroids, the woman that's on the Stairmaster or the treadmill for 4 hours. These people have deep-rooted issues just like the overweight person does. And they tend to mask it through fitness. When you're taking illegal substances to get yourself in shape, when you're burning your body all the way out and you're not using any type of recovery, you're not icing, you're not stretching, you are damaging yourself just as much as a fat person is damaging themselves. Because statistically as well, people that take steroids, they die faster, statistically, than the average guy going to the gym that is just working out on a daily basis, getting the sweat in, all that good shit. So if you are somebody taking steroids and you are somebody that needs that validation from outside voices and from the mirror, you're damaging yourself just as much as that fat ass sitting on the couch eating ice cream. So there are, when you go dramatics, when you're going far this way and far that way, they tend to do the same exact things for the same reasons, but they just look different. The closer and closer you can get to the middle, the more you'll be centered and you'll be healthy. So I would advise people like that, is when your mind is clear and your body is moving in the right direction, make sure you do things in moderation, but also at the right speed of your own body. Don't take steroids. Don't be a lazy fat ass sitting on the couch. Don't be a cardio queen or king and burn your body out. Make sure that you're hydrating. Make sure that you're getting the right sleep. Make sure that you're stretching. Make sure that you're getting the right amount of working out in, plus the diet. And then with that, you'll be mentally clear. So those are the main things that you really want to drive home when it comes to the body. What else benefits when you love yourself? Relationships. You will notice when you love yourself, relationships are extremely easy. You could find the person of your dreams. The family that you have around you will always love you and never think anything different about you. Your friends will be there when you need them to be there. But if you do not love yourself, how the fuck can you love anybody else? It's a contradiction. You don't know how to love the most important person in your life, which is you. How are you going to find any type of energy or any type of guidance to know how to love anybody else? So before you decide to jump into a relationship, before you decide to give advice to any family member or friend, you need to look at yourself first. Make sure you're in the right position to say or do anything, and then do that. If you are not, there are a billion ways to get better. You can go to therapy. You can sit down with these friends, family, and you can have them dissect and help you out. You can watch podcasts. You can go on YouTube. You can read on Google. There's a lot of ways for self-help nowadays that people didn't have 20, 30, 40 years ago. So don't, once again, be lazy. This is another thing. If you're not working on yourself and you're not making yourself better for relationships, then you're just lazy. And you don't deserve to have one. And you don't deserve to have good ones. Because you're not putting the work in. For the easiest person to put the work in is you. You're around yourself all day. You don't need to call yourself. You don't need to email yourself. You're right the fuck there. So do everything in your power to make sure you're putting yourself in the right space for others. Because if you're not in the right space, no relationship will ever work. You'll start noticing that you're meeting people and they're distancing themselves from you, or you're meeting people and it works out for a couple months and then they're gone. It has nothing to do with them. There is no way that you meet the same person on this planet. Doesn't even exist. There are no two people on this planet the same. So when I hear people go, I just keep meeting the same person. No, motherfucker, the same person is you. You are the issue, not anybody else, because there are not two people on this planet that are the same. So there's no way that you're going on 2 dates and meeting the same fucking person, unless this person has a fucking disguise on and is just duping you. But at the end of the day, the person that's the common denominator that's not changing and not putting themselves in the right position is you. So if you want a relationship to work, you really need to dive into yourself first. Get yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually in the right space. And then you'll notice it's really easy to find people. You can find people walking into the coffee shop, especially if you're already taking care of your body. If you're already in shape, that's half the battle. Half the battle is just being in shape as it is. So if people see you right away and go, man, they look great, they're fine, they're in great shape, great body, half the work's done. Now you need to bring you. If you cannot close what your body has already opened, you don't deserve to be with nobody. You ain't in the right space. You need to go get more help. You need to go get more advice. Because when you do, like I just said minutes ago, you'll find the right relationships. Your family members will love to pick up the phone when you call. They'll love to answer text messages right away. They want to laugh with you. They want to be around you because they are getting something off of you that makes them better. Same thing with friends. If you notice why family and friends do not pick your phone up, it's probably because you're in the wrong headspace and you're not doing the right things. So you need to self-evaluate, start making the right moves, start doing the right things, and make people want to be around you. How fucking hard is that? To me, it seems really easy. The hard part is you're fucking lazy. And if you could tighten the fuck up, you'll be in a better position. How can you achieve this? Get around people that truly live this. Like I said, there's a bunch of podcasts out there. There's a bunch of YouTube clips out there. There are a lot of people with this mindset. If you cannot find people in your space like this, you can at least find people on YouTube, on podcasts that are like this, and it will change your mind. You listen to it enough times, it will change your mind. If you could listen to these people that have a mindset in which you want, and then distance yourself from people that have a shitty mindset that you don't want, I guarantee you your mindset will change in a positive direction, and you will start finding the right people in your actual life that think the same way that you do. So that would be a very easy way of getting rid of dead weight, finding good people, especially if you don't have them right now. Because that's always the biggest issue. People always say, well, I don't have those people around me. Okay, well, make yourself better. Distance yourself from the shitty people, and I bet you'll start finding some people. It might take a little while. You might be lonely for a second, but that's absolutely okay. Pain is the best thing that you could get a hold of, so it will remind you what good feelings feel like. So if you can be in a little bit of pain, you can be a little discomfort when you're by yourself for a little bit. When you actually find people, you hold on to them and you appreciate them more because you remember how that pain felt and you don't want that again. How can you achieve this? Number 2, get healthy. I was driving that the fuck home already. But if you could be healthy, you're halfway done. You already like what you see physically and you love what you see physically. Now you can work on the emotional part. But if you're out of shape, you're going to hate both parts and it's just not going to work. Be honest with yourself. This is a huge one. People bullshit and lie to themselves all day, every day. When you're fat, you're telling yourself you're not fat. Or at least you're telling yourself, well, I'm not, if I'm 200, at least I'm not fucking 215. Then you get to 215 and, well, I'm 215, at least I'm not 230. Then you're fucking 400 pounds making them same fucking excuses. When you could have caught yourself at 200, lost the weight, and gotten the shape that you wanted to. Now it's too late. You're at 400. You're fucked. People If you can't be honest with yourself, you'll never achieve anything and you'll never be honest with others. You need to be the most honest with yourself. If you bullshit the people on the outside, but don't bullshit to yourself. Because if you bullshit to yourself, you are truly never going to succeed. I've never seen somebody in the history of very successful people that is just an amazing bullshitter that still to this day is praised. All of them have one thing in common. They were true to themselves and they stuck to what they believed in. And when you can do stuff like that, you can achieve major things. When you cannot do stuff like that, you'll be remembered for not being able to do that. The people in history that are remembered for being great bullshitters, that's what they're remembered for. They're not remembered for being great people. They're being remembered for being pieces of shit that were good at duping motherfuckers, but eventually got caught and got played the fuck out. Get rid of negativity. People, decisions, comparing yourself. That's a huge one. You need to get rid of that negative thinking right off the bat. Stop watching and stop paying attention to what others do. And when you do that, I swear, you'll love yourself the next day. When you stop giving a shit about what car somebody's driving or who somebody's dating or what career somebody just got or what school they just got accepted to, and you start focusing on yourself, life starts narrowing in. You're not really worried about this big, broad shit that you can't control. It starts narrowing in and you start realizing, oh, I can control this stuff right here. Now I'm going to control this stuff and I'm going to make myself better. Easiest way. Get rid of all the outside noise. Fuck what anybody's got to say about you, because the only person that matters, and the only person that you could really focus on when it comes to thought and how they feel when it comes to mattering about yourself is you. And if you can feel good about yourself in 95+% of the time, then you're going to do amazing things. And it helps you get your time back. When you love yourself, you're not worried about what's going on here. When you're worried about all these different things going on, you have no space to think. And when you have no space to think, you're wasting a shitload of time. When you can narrow it in, you can think better and you can do more positive things and you start utilizing your time way better. What's the definition of falling in love with yourself? So we just talk about love. Love. It takes through that conversation, you could tell it takes a lot of effort, takes a lot of time, and it's not something that happens just like that. You could do things to help you get in better positions, but it's not going to happen. You're not going to hate yourself one day, do what the fuck I just said, snap in and love yourself the next day. But the definition of falling in love with yourself is frightening. Being infatuated, obsessed, and or overwhelmed by yourself and the things that you are doing. Those three major words, infatuation, obsession, overwhelmed about yourself, are frightening. I know a lot of people. I know more people that are at this stage than they are at the stage that I just talked about. I know more people that fall in love with themselves than actually love themselves. And there's a huge difference. And the difference is this. You don't see anybody else. You only see you. But you see bullshit. If you made $100 today, you're telling yourself or you're telling others you made $1,000 today. If you went to the gym for 15 minutes, you're telling yourself or you're telling others that you were there for 2 hours. It's the show. It's the magic sprinkled bullshit that you're putting on your life to justify why you're either not in the space you are or to trick people to think that you're in the space that you are. Why is this bad? You never hold yourself accountable. A lot of people in this space blame others. When they do something and then somebody critiques them, or if they do something and it's not to a standard in which somebody expects, they don't go, that's my fault, I'll adjust, I'll make the change. They go, oh, well, it was because of this, or it was because of that. Or when I talked to this person, they liked it, but I don't know why you don't like it. That to me is frightening because you're not taking the blame. People always want the good. They'll take the good all day. When somebody gives you praise, they'll take it all day. But when somebody blames you or somebody critiques you and you don't take it, that lets me know that you're falling in love with yourself and you don't love yourself. Because when you love yourself, you could have those hard conversations. You can accept when you're wrong, and you could grow and go past that to make yourself better. Because that's all it is. When you truly love yourself, you will do the hard things that make yourself better. The same way in a relationship, when you truly love someone, it's not peaches and cream all day. So when those hard times do come, you don't run. You face them. You get through them, and you grow to be better, because that's real love. But when you're loving something, it's all infatuation. It's all believing the bullshit. And that is never a good thing. You're not living in reality. These two collide. But a lot of these people, I knew a dude that went to high school with me. Crazy. He would post about all these trips he goes on, the bottles he's popping, the shirts that he's wearing. And it looks like this dude is Pablo Escobar. It looks like he's selling crazy and just jet setting. But behind the scenes, lives at his mom's, works for an airline, so that's how he gets the free tickets, and then blows all his money on these trips and on the bottles and the girls. So on social media, he looks like he's doing it. But in reality, when you peel back the onion, you know it's all bullshit. And to me, that is falling in love with yourself and not loving yourself. And it is dangerous, because what happens? Now, you're not living that real life. The women around you only want to be around you for the alcohol and the money. So you already know that. You're wasting all that money that you could put on some real shit, some investments, property, some stuff that's really going to help you out. Just for a pump fake, just to feel good for half a second. Frightening. You're one, and everything else is a far two. The worst. When you are number one and everything else is a far two, you'll never be able to get past yourself. And when you can't get past yourself, you don't have any room to really love others. You don't have any room to focus on your health, on your mental clarity, on the things that are going to make you better. There's a lot of people out here that are like that. I've known a bunch of them. I've actually had some that are friends that in the moment, they need you. They need to be around you. They want your presence. But they're doing it for selfish reasons. They're not doing it to build a friendship, because they don't know how to do that. They don't even know how to build themselves. So how can they build a friendship? Then you try to teach them how to do it, and you realize that this is a short-lived thing. They're going to be your friend for a while until they get what they want, or they could get the knowledge that they want from you, and then they're going to move on to the next person that they can do it to, and the next person they can do it to, and the next person they do it to. And they don't realize this whole time you've wasted not building any relationships, because all those people see how fake you are. And all those people see how you can't even love yourself. How can you be a friend? And then at the end of the day, when they look back on the 5, 10, 15 years, they have no friends. Nobody gives a fuck about them. And their body and their mind and their spirit and their emotions just gets worse and worse and worse. They find themselves in the hole by themselves. I wouldn't want that. And I don't know why people do decide to do that, because you control, you could stop it at any time. Your growth hinders. All these people that I just explained have hindered growth issues. They're stuck in a false reality. They're stuck in the past. They're thinking about the future, but they're not living in the present. The only thing that is going to make you successful is right now. Future, past, fake, never helps you. The next step that you're going to take is the only one that you should be paying attention to, because that is the one that's going to get you in either a good or bad direction. So when you are not growing and you're not moving in the right direction, it just lets me know that I got to get the fuck away from you. Life is going to be way too hard to have you slowing me down at all, or me listening or seeing any of your bullshit. So those are the major things in which it does, and it's frightening. What kind of people are like this? underdeveloped, people that aren't really educated. But education is a skew, or education is this bubble. It's really about every day educating yourself. It's not about the degree you have or the master that you have or any of that. It's about, are you making yourself better every day? Are you choosing to live in this tiny ass box? Or are you breaking out of it and pushing yourself to think of people's opinions and to understand what somebody with the opposite opinion of you has and grow in that case? But a lot of these people don't. They stay in their little box. They think they know what they know, and that's it. And they don't allow themselves to grow. When you're not allowing yourself to grow educationally, you're getting stupider and stupider every day. It's like muscle. Muscle has two options. Either get stronger or it gets weaker. In my opinion, your brain is the same way. You either get smarter or you get stupider. And if you decide to hold on to your old values or your old ways, you're just getting dumber and dumber and dumber. And for me, I'd rather educate myself and listen to people that are educated in different sectors of me and get smarter and smarter and smarter. Number 2, very privileged. And privilege today now is skewed towards your skin color or your income. In my opinion, you're very privileged as being an American, because the poorest Americans out here sometimes, more often than not, are richer than the middle class in other countries. We're just so privileged and we're so used to it that we like to complain and we like to sit there and watch what other people have that we don't have. And we want to cry and complain and lean on somebody else to help pull us out instead of looking at ourselves, because a lot of people in other countries don't have these options. And what they do is one of two things. You either die or you grow. And a lot of people choose growth when the fucking rubber is meeting the road. But when you're privileged and you're lazy, you can just choose to fall back and lean and just know, well, I'm not going to die today because I have X, Y, and Z and these people care about me or whatever. But when the rubber hits the road and it's really life or death, more often than not, people choose life and choose a better one. But you never know that unless you get put in that situation. So privilege is a huge one. Laziness, that falls in line with that. We talked about laziness already. If you are lazy, you're never going to be successful. There are not a lot of successful lazy people out there. And if they are successful, it's for half a fucking second. But when you're talking about the longevity of your life, man, people like to sit in this little bubble thinking about what they could get today or tomorrow. Life is a long stretch, and you need to make sure the movements that you're making now on this day are helping set up when you retire at 60, when you retire at 70, 80, whatever it is. But laziness will not get you there. And laziness lets me know how privileged you are when you're not making the right moves for your body, for your mind, for your spirit, for your emotion. And if that's the case, once again, get that person the fuck away from you, because they're not going to help you out at all. With this, we're towards the end of the episode. My closing statement: it takes a lot of effort and a lot of time to learn how to love yourself. And when you could take that time, it will help your relationships with your significant other, with your family, with your friends, the people that mean the most to you. So you taking care of yourself not only shows me how much you want to make yourself better, but it shows me how much you want to make the people around you better. When you are falling in love with yourself, you're the only person that you're paying attention to, and you're not putting the right effort into the people that matter around you. And when you decide to do that, your future is going to be very dark and very lonely and very sad. You still might have people around you, but it's not going to be the right people. And in life, growth is based on having the right people around you. So make sure you're doing that, and make sure you listen to this episode again, because there's a lot of people out there that need to hear this twice. So rewind, play it again. But with that being said, I'm out. Thank you guys very much for listening. Leave a comment, like, all that good shit. I'm out. Peace.